Hey, so as you can see, we're not currently in the normal studio, but today we're going to talk to you really quickly about how you can become the number one entry for your given topic on Google, and we're going to do that right after this. Hello viewers, today's episode of Together We Can is brought to you by ViceTemple. ViceTemple are the leading online providers of hosting for adult websites. The problem with the likes of GoDaddy, Namecheap, all of these, although they are fantastic suppliers, their terms of service do not allow for any adult content. And you might think that maybe you're in the grey area, but why risk it? ViceTemple provide easy to use, simple hosting with great support for as little as $5 if you use our link. Otherwise, it's going to be $10 to $15 a month. But you can get started today for just $5 by using the link in our description. And it also supports us by keeping us afloat because we need those dollar bills. Check out ViceTemple.com. The link is in the description below. Now let's get back to the episode. So getting your content to number one on Google is really, really important because it's going to help you stand out amongst the crowd. And I'll tell you even more why it's important. But first, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, the reason it's so important is simply that when you think about how you're bringing clients to your service, it makes all the difference when it comes to converting those clients and making earnings. The reason I say this, for example, if you create a Facebook ad, it's a lot like doing an old-fashioned leaflet drop. So you're just dropping leaflets into every single person's house and hoping that they respond to you. Whereas when you have a Google search ad or even a Google search number one, basically the people who are finding it are people who want your content. Now, when you pay for a Google search ad, you're still getting a lot of people who aren't interested but are interested in something similar, and you're paying for that. This is the equivalent. By being number one, you're getting the same thing but for free. And once you get to number one, essentially you get free traffic for years to come as long as you keep your SEO up to date. So let's talk about the things you need to do to SEO your content. So to start with, if you want to walk through this bit by bit, you can hit the link in the description below from our partner site, Learn Semrush, where you'll find all of these steps in full writing if you're more interested in going through them piece by piece. But the tools you'll need are also in that, and they're in the description below. Your first tool is Semrush, which you can sign up for a 7-day free trial exclusively with our link. And this will give you where you're at the moment as well as what your competition's doing. And that's really, really important to find out where you need to go and what you need to do. The second one is Answer the Public. Now, when you're writing content for your new content website to promote your Chaturbate affiliate, what you're going to want to do is use Answer the Public to find out what people are searching around your niche. So if you've picked a niche, for example, like busty something, then you can search for what are the things people search. This brings you search intent, and that means that you're targeting exactly what people are searching as opposed to just one keyword in that question. So we have a link for the Answer the Public as well, and that's going to really help you narrow down your content strategy, whereas Semrush is going to help you do a full audit of your content and see where you're going right and where you're going wrong. Finally, we're going to assume if you've watched our content video up here that you're going to be using WordPress, and that means that you're going to want to install the Yoast plugin, and this is going to give you a red, amber and green light system to tell you which parts of your content are working, exactly what you need to update and so on. And it's a free plugin you can find on WordPress, or you can check the link in the description below. So WTF is SEO, TBH. Essentially, SEO is search engine optimization, and all it is optimizing your site so that the crawler, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, is able to busk through your site as quick as it can, and that way it starts ranking you up. The easier Google can find the information it needs on your site, the more likely it is to index you correctly, and the more likely you are to go ahead of those people who don't do this. Indexing, in case you don't know what that is essentially where it's creating like a yellow pages introduction. So if you remember any old catalogs or anything like that, you had an index, so you could search for where is bicycle and then it would show you what that is. That's all it's doing, is just creating a big directory, and by indexing the crawler, which is a piece of code that Google has that goes and searches every single website on the web, is able to go through your site and index it piece by piece, so that even if you have content from two wildly different things, it knows to put them in the right places and send that traffic to it. So some things you can do to ensure that your SEO is correct. And again, the article below will talk you through how to do these things in more detail. And if you check out the site at the link in the description below, you'll also find ways to ensure that you're doing these correctly. But essentially, there's 4 things that you need to look out for: readability, localization. So the basics that you'll need to cover is readability, localization, mobile focus, and your keyword research. I'll go through each of those really, really quickly right now. So readability is exactly what it sounds like. Essentially, Google has gotten really, really good at figuring out what on your site is readable in normal basic English, and it will run through it. If you're using sentences that are more than 20 words, it'll down rank you. If you're not using a passive voice, it'll down rank you. All these sorts of things. So basically using good English, making sure you spell check, things like that. Obviously, if you're targeting a different language, make sure you do the same for that. But readability is really, really important, and the Yoast plugin will run you through that. Mobile focus is the next one on that list, and mobile focus is exactly what it sounds like, making sure that your website looks and works perfectly on a mobile phone or a tablet. If it doesn't, you will be severely downranked. And also, you want to make sure this works this way anyway, because about 80% of your web traffic is likely to be mobile, especially going forward into 2021. So if your website's not working properly on mobile, you're not just going to have search engine problems, you're going to have a high bounce rate from people landing on your site and leaving as quick as they can. Localization is a really, really good one. So if you are focused on one particular country for your Chaturbate affiliate strategy, or you're just focused on a certain area of the world, then you're going to want to localize your content. So you're going to want to embed a lot of things like, mention different countries, mention different places, put maps in of where the thing is, localize everything as hard as you can, because that way, even though you may not show up in, for example, the US when you're targeting Norway, if your target client is from Norway, then you're going to want to target those people exactly. The last thing is keyword and topic research. So again, this goes back to using the Semrush tool and the Answer the Public tool. You're going to want to make sure that you are searching for the exact right keywords before you write your topic. So even if you're doing our content strategy where you're just taking photos from Chaturbate, moving them over, reviewing models, whatever it is that you're going to use as your content strategy, make sure these are things that people are looking for, and you can use those tools to do that, because if you're targeting the wrong thing, it doesn't matter how well you do it, you're not going to get traffic. Now, all of this is really, really important, because that coveted #1 spot on Google, generally speaking, will get you at least 3,000 clicks a day, if not more, and it's going to take you a few months to get there, so starting now is really, really important. 2 final things that I'll put, and the rest is in the article, again, if you want more detail, but 2 things you need to be on top of going into 2021 is make sure you have a video strategy. And the reason I say that is because 80% of all web traffic this year and growing next year is video. That means that most of the traffic on the web is purely watching video, and that's important. If you're in on that game, then YouTube is going to push you up. Also, you'll notice if you search basically anything nowadays, if there's a video of it on YouTube that's highly ranked, YouTube shows up as the first search on Google, so that'll put you way ahead of everything else. Second thing is social media. The reason I mean this is because if you get a lot of people to share your content on social media, obviously with this type of content it's not going to be Facebook, but if it's on Twitter, Instagram, all these different things, and they put a link back to your topic, that counts as a backlink on Google, and you're going to get a hell of a lot more of those than you are going to get guest posts on other sites in this industry. So if you can encourage people to share a link to your content, you're going to make it big in 2021 on social media. And if you can get your SEO to #1, you're going to have a guaranteed income for years to come, and that's why it's really, really important. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and on Wednesday we'll be back in the studio with a more professional video, but we just wanted to make sure you had something today so you can keep moving your business forward. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you then.